can go through the same setback or experience. One comes out bitter, stuck, and fearful, while the other comes back wiser, stronger, and even more focused. The difference is not luck, it's the mindsets. Hi guys, welcome to Limitless and Thriving, the podcast for professionals and founders navigating change and building clarity, confidence, and sustainable growth in their careers, businesses, and lives. I'm your host, I'm Ruki, and I'm here to talk about the real journey, the transitions, the setbacks, the reinvention, and the practical tools that would help you move forward with intention. So if you're navigating change or stepping into something new, you are in the right place. So it could be changing your careers, changing your income levels from where you are to where you want to be, stepping into something new in terms of starting a business, starting investments, and so on. Here is where we spill the real tea. Let me start with this. The biggest difference between people who grow through change and people will get stuck in it is not talent, it's not opportunity, it's not even discipline. It's how they think about these challenges. And what do I mean when we say challenges or change? It seems like, oh, you're always talking about change, but guess what? Change and challenges are things that happen. So changes, challenges, blockers are those things that always hold us back and stops us in our track and actually stop us from achieving our planned goals and objectives in life. Because the way you interpret a challenge will determine whether it becomes a setback for you, a setup, or a signal for your next level. And that's why today's episode is about the limitless mindset. This is a mindset that I have personally used that has worked for me. Because before you change your strategy, before you start thinking about changing your career, or before you start anything, either business, building wealth, or whatsoever, you have to change how you see what you are working through. Because nothing good achieved in life is always a walk in the park. You will definitely come across setbacks, blockers, obstacles. However, the way you see this will determine whether you see these setbacks as stepping stone to your progress or you see them as a final sign to quit. So what's this episode going to be about? In this episode, we are going to talk about how mindsets actually affects execution, how it shapes the way you respond to change and setbacks, and why your mindset often decides the outcome before you even start. So whether you are navigating a career transition, starting a business, rebuilding after a setback, or trying to build wealth more intentionally, or moving to another geographical location, it's what would determine how you will respond to these transitions, how you will handle this change, how you recover from setbacks, and how you will step into new beginnings. Because if your mindset is limited, everything else will be too. So what's the limitless mindset really? What does it really mean to have a limitless mindset? Let's be clear. The limitless mindset is not just positive thinking. It's not just ignoring your fear, and it's not just pretending that challenges don't exist. The limitless mindset is how you interpret what is happening to you. A limitless mindset says, this is happening for my growth. That one shift changes how you respond to the rejection, to the delay, to the redirection, or even uncertainty, and it determines whether you stop, whether you retreat, or readapt. So let's talk about what this really means in real life. Personally, I have lived through multiple transitions, from career transitions, business transitions, relocation, identity transitions, seasons where the plan didn't actually work as expected, seasons where things ended, seasons where I also had to start again. And one thing I've learned in all of this is that the challenge itself doesn't really define the outcome. Your mindset during this challenge is what does. Two people can go through the same setback or experience. One comes out bitter, stuck, and fearful, while the other comes back wiser, stronger, and even more focused. The difference is not luck, it's the mindsets. So let's look at relatable examples in your career. You apply for roles and you don't hear back. You probably want to tell yourself, oh, I'm not good enough. Oh, they don't want me. But what a limitless mindset will tell you is that, okay, I didn't get picked. I got a rejection. However, what feedback or evidence do I need to strengthen my positioning, to strengthen my application? What do I need to add to who I currently am or to what I'm currently offer that would make me the best option that they can't reject? One leads to withdrawal while the other one leads to positioning. And I think the positioning is the right mindset to choose. Let's look at business as well. You launch something and it doesn't take off immediately. We all have experienced that. You launch a new business. Before it, the anticipation, the excitement was up the roof. And you are expecting the acceptance to look the same. However, acceptance doesn't look like what you anticipated. And what your mindset is telling you is, maybe this isn't for me. Maybe I should quit. Maybe the market is oversaturated. Or maybe starting a business is not for anyone. However, what the limitless mindset will tell you is that, what can I do to adjust and test again? What do I need to add to the offering? The first mindset will lead you to quit and not continue with what you're doing, while the other mindset will lead you to learn, to recalibrate, and to change your offering and get better. Now let's look at wealth building. You want to start investing, you want to start saving, you want your money to start working for you, but it feels like your income is too small. What a limited mindset will do is that to tell you that there's no point starting now. I would wait till when I have so. I would wait till this point. But what the limitless mindset will tell you is that habits built early compound later. The limited mindset would delay your growth, while the limitless mindset would help you build momentum quietly, putting together everything you need to be exactly where you are, rather than having a defeating mindset. So in this episode, you would walk away with understanding why mindset comes before strategy. You would walk away with recognizing how your thinking affects your execution. You would learn how to respond differently to challenges and setbacks, and you'll feel more equipped to move forward through change. So how do we apply the limitless mindsets? Transitions are very uncomfortable. I'm not going to lie. Career changes, it requires a lot more from you than you ordinarily might want to give. Moving industries, very uncomfortable. But guess what? Growth comes with discomfort. Growth comes when we stretch ourselves. Growth comes when we do what we did not even know we were capable of. Or let's look at becoming a founder, starting a business, letting go of your old identities and becoming new you. A limited mindset will cling to what is familiar, the comfort zone, while a limitless mindset understands that growth requires letting go. It asks you, what version of me is this season calling for? This season I am right now is a season where I need to give more, and I have identified and recognized that, and I'm doing that. Let's look at going through change as well, either relocation, or any form of change you might be going through. Change usually feels disruptive. New roles, new responsibilities, new expectations. But what a limited mindset would do is to resist change. I don't want something new. I just want to be the way I've always been. I want to live my life on an auto-run basis. I don't want to stretch myself. I don't want to do more. Please, life is only for the living. Oh, you only live once. But guess what? A limitless mindset helps you to adapt and ask, how can I position myself to win in this new environment? There are always opportunities that come with change. And with the right mindset, you can be able to identify these opportunities and leverage them. Change doesn't shrink you. The interpretation you have done of that change is what will do. Also, we go through setbacks. Setbacks are inevitable in life. Rejected applications, failed launches, slow income, delayed progress, demotion, visa rejections. A limited mindset would say that this setback is actually the proof of your incapacity. That's what it will tell your mind. Oh, that you were not even capable in the first place. However, you now have a proof because you've been rejected. But guess what? A limitless mindset sees this setback As feedback. If it's a third-party related activity, you get feedback from the activity. And if it's self-assessment that is required, you sit down and look at it. What is it that has made me be rejected this time? And that's something I do in my personal life. And sometimes when you really look at it and you look at the assessment of what actually went wrong, is either you then identify or recognize the fact that you do not even want this in the first place, or you then identify what exactly you need to do to get to where you really want to be. And that also takes you to the goals that you've set in the first place. Did the goals actually match your current season in life? And have you been applying to the right jobs, to the right opportunities that are yours? So feedback tells you what to adjust, not who you are. And also, let's talk about new beginnings. New beginnings are exciting, but they can also be scary. I've had a lot of new beginnings in my life, from moving to a new country, to starting businesses, to leaving my 9 to 5. I have seen it all. You don't really feel ready for it. You don't feel confident yet. A limited mindset would wait for certainty. I would wait till I probably have all those certifications before I move. I would wait till I'm making over £1 million before I leave my 9 to 5. I would make until this. I'm not saying everybody should leave their 9 to 5, don't get me wrong. What I'm trying to say is that whatever it is those goals look like for you is depending on your current situation, or whatever it is you've been struggling to execute. Okay, so a limitless mindset moves with clarity and not certainty, because clarity comes from action. Here's something practical I'm going to leave you with today that you can start using immediately. When you are facing a challenge, you ask yourself, what is this situation trying to develop in me? When you do your self-assessments, then you will know. You've applied for something, you've gotten a rejection, and they tell you, you got this rejection because you have not set so in place in your business, and that makes it look like you are not good enough. Then you know what you need to work on. If it's a job you applied to, then you see, oh, you do not have experience in so. And then you can know what your next step is. Is it to upskill or to apply to the ones you already have experience in? What exactly do you need to develop? And the second one is, what skill, habit, or perspective do I need to strengthen? There are definitely things you are doing at the moment that are giving results. Once you've identified that these things align and are helping you to achieve your goals, then you know you need to strengthen these skills. You need to upskill, you need to learn, you need to gain experience. These are things you do during your waiting season. And then what is the next responsible action I can take today? Not giving up, but knowing what moves you from emotion to execution. It's okay to take your time to actually feel rejection, but do not wallow in self-pity. Do not wallow in that sad, bitter feeling. Move on straight away to start taking your action. There's something I read somewhere about depression can't eat a moving object. It's only when you stay stuck in that particular setback you are going through that you actually start thinking negative thoughts. However, if you keep moving, you might even realize that you were moving towards a goal. However, because your actions are positive and result-oriented, you might actually achieve a different goal that is equally as benefiting to you as the first goal. So this week, I want you to do this. Identify one challenge you are currently facing, then write down, this is not happening to me. It's working for me by developing this. This is what I've identified. I've been applying to jobs, I've been getting rejection. I probably need to add a couple of more skills to my portfolio or to my skill set. I probably need to start putting myself out there more, because that is what I think I'm lacking. Then take one small action that is aligned with that belief, because mindset becomes real when it leads to action. Having a positive mindset without action that's actually aligned is just daydreaming, really. You can't just be assuming that this positive stuff will work for you. It's just like praying with no action. You are praying that you pass your exams, but you're not reading. That is daydreaming. So when something doesn't go as planned, pause as well and ask yourself, is this a stop sign or is this a signal to adjust? Sometimes it could be a stop to restart again after you've done your self-assessment, and sometimes it could actually be a signal to try something new, use a different strategy. Before you change your strategy, your plan, or your path, work on your mindset, because a limitless mindset doesn't remove challenges, it equips you to grow with them. If this episode resonated with you, make sure you follow or subscribe to Limitless and Thriving so you don't miss future conversations like this. And if you know someone navigating setbacks, change, or challenges right now, feel free to share this episode with them. See you in the next episode. Bye.